What is up, everybody? Welcome back, and Merry Christmas, or Happy Holidays if you're not into Christmas. I'm Ben, and this is KameTrick, and we are back with another live stream. We're keeping it a little shorter today. I'm going to run each track for about an hour instead of the usual hour and a half, but we're going to get to it here shortly, just after I greet my homies in chat. What is up? We've got my buddy Dustin in Excite Video Magazine. Good to see you. Theo, Eric, Dizzy as well in the house. Gnak, a growing frequent face here. Siobhan says, Merry Christmas, eat a lot please, and bye. Cheers. Prepaholic, what is up, Matt? How's it going? Made it in for the stream? Very good. Yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas to you guys and your fam and crew as well. Hope everybody's had a safe and satisfying holiday. MC Quack, good to see you. JT Pro, welcome back. Gotta wait for it to download, but you got a USB e-brake. Oh, very nice. And Sprankles as well has something to celebrate because he's got a new T300 wheel, I believe. So he's getting ready to learn the way of the G-force, the force feedback, all that good jazz. Can't wait to see it. Love the hat. Thank you. Yeah, I try to get into character a little bit for these. Santa's about to be slaying. You know how it is. It's not the only thing that we got going on either. Hey, Grant, good to see you. Mediquity. Nano, how's it going? Welcome. Mad Dog, good to see you. Other fun thing we've got today is a brand new gift of mine. The kanji here. Not the kanji, sorry. Grant's smacking me over the head in my subconscious right now. The katakana there. It says PlayStation. So that's kind of fun. A little PlayStation love. This is a shirt like a Santa Claus beard and like the coat too. It probably doesn't read that way. It probably just looks really weird. But pretend it's a big white beard or tire smoke. I don't care which. A white beard made of tire smoke would be pretty rad. We're gonna get into it, folks. And don't forget to hit that like button to wish me a happy DRIFTmas. Josh, good to see you. We got the World Drift Friends in the house and ready to shred today. Homies from around the world. We got Theo in here from Australia, where they are having barbecue. Summertime Santa. Always thought that would be cool to experience. Just growing up in the States, like, it's always cold, and it doesn't even occur to me that it's possible for it to not be cold for the holidays, you know. RJ Craft 18, Merry Christmas from the hospital. We're happy to see some drifting from the hospital. Hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully you're there for either for work, to provide for the fam, or for a good reason. A good reason like, you know, maybe a little one or something. But either way, just working, right on. Very good. Glad to hear it's business as usual. Rip Trippy, Merry Christmas. What was your most memorable Christmas present growing up? Oh man, that's a tough one. Most memorable Christmas. You guys are coming hard with the questions this start of the stream here. We're doing a little shorter stream tonight because I'm gonna be wiped out and I gotta have quality time with the fam. But we're not missing any time. Getting right into it with the questions. I mean, I was pretty stoked to get a number of things, right? Like, I'm sort of a younger, or like, I guess older rather, sort of an older drift fan, so like, I didn't grow up with smartphones. I didn't grow up with the internet until a little bit later, closer to middle school, before I had access to it. And so like, getting a bicycle, like a nice bicycle, was a good present. Used to enjoy pedaling around the neighborhood. Original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and PlayStation were all excellent gifts as well. Greg, what is up? I'm not ready to be followed, apparently. Excite says, Kentucky, Kentucky 食べたか? いや、食べてねえんですけど. So, my buddy Dustin from Excite Video Magazine YouTube channel. He's recently back in the States, but he used to live out in Japan. And he was asking me if I'd had any Kentucky Fried Chicken today, which is a little fun fact. So, somehow, in Japan, Kentucky Fried Chicken had this like very effective marketing campaign, and now it's pretty common for like Christmas meals in Japan to be Kentucky Fried Chicken for Christmas. Which, like, I mean, I'm about it. I'm American, I like fast food, I can't lie. Sometimes I wish I didn't, but I do. So, kind of an amusing little thing. Actually, I gotta ask Grant, if he's still in the chat, did he have some Kentucky Fried Chicken? Dustin is back in A-Town. He is. Seven inches of snow. Wow. That is quite a bit, sir. We have had 2 instances of like a 4-inch or 5-inch snow, which has been really beautiful and really pleasant. We don't tend to get snow as much out here where I'm at. But it was very nice to see. Like, I'm not a fan of cold weather, honestly, but if it's going to be cold anyway, I would rather there be some snow to enjoy. Bump. Oh, here's Turbo R. Always somebody good to follow. Looking forward to that. Michael Lister, good to see you. Merry Driftmas, thank you for tuning in for even a little bit. I don't know if this is going to be what you'd call a big stream or not. But as always, hit like, tell the algorithm to push this out to the people. Those men of culture who are into drifting, and they will see it. Did you guys get anything rad for Christmas? What was your favorite Christmas gift this year so far? Like, in the event that your family doesn't give all the gifts straight away, because some places, like some people will do a couple today and a couple tomorrow, over the weekend, etc. New Fanatic wheel, Andrew, got the goods. We're gonna ease up on the Turbo R here and get to work. Three packs of white shirts. Parents sent me a rollable chess set, perfect for bringing out or on trips. That's cool. Rollable chess set. So is it like a luggage type of design for the holder? That's neat. Oh, I'm a little tight here. Not quite in the zone. I've got my OBS encoder up so I can read chat while I drive, and I should have minimized the window. I'm sort of blinding myself a little bit on one side. Oh, RJ Craft, and you know each other in real life. Okay, I was wondering what was up. You guys seem pretty close. I figured he was maybe one of your biggest fans of the YouTube channel, which maybe that's also true. Almost getting up in that door. careful. Careful as I can here. This is going to be intense, I'm sure. Oh, gentlemen, well done on that decel zone through there. Ryan, good to see you. Thank you. Predator says, I wish I could join. The G27 died. Oof. Well, the big question is, what are you going to replace it with? That's what everybody wants to know. You going to move up to the world of belt drive wheel stardom? Got inner tie rods and sway bar bushings for the cube suspension. Heck yeah. Oh, messy. Losing ground on these transitions. Transitions are early, guys. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. T300. Yeah, I'd say T300 is probably an excellent bet, because it's going to have the counter steer speed that you want, and it's not going to be like any more expensive. Like, it's probably the best budget wheel that I consider a really good belt drive wheel. That's what I usually recommend people. Occasionally my e-brake or something seems to be activating and killing my momentum, which is kind of funky. Yeah, cheapest belt driven wheel is the T300. Get an arm workout. Hey, that's true. I've got little stick arms because of that. I used to work out. I haven't managed to in a while. It's been busy. Team Pizza, what is up? Going back through chat just a hair. Awesome username. Putting most of my money and mine into my girlfriend's 1 year on my birthday. I actually got to save up. Got you. That's fair. Theo says, you know, my background is Greek and didn't realize this track was in Greece. I did not know. I did not know that your background was Greek. That's cool. Yeah, so apparently this is in a part of Greece called Meteora. And occasionally I get a viewer from Greece who tunes in and is like stoked to see a track that they actually know, or a track from Greece. Because I understand this to be a real life drift track. It makes me want to go out and try to like visit. My dream is to make enough content and add enough value and bring enough fun to people that maybe someday there'd be a community where, like, if I fly out to a given country, I'd be allowed to drive a car that's already out there. Because I don't think any amount of success for me is going to result in being able to, like, build a car in multiple countries and keep it there for when I visit. But I would love to visit a ton of different countries where drifting is around and actually get to participate a little bit. Even if it's just a little basic muscle car. Actually, that might be the funnest, because then I could do stuff like this and not feel too bad if I put a few licks on it. Alright, we're following Sprinks here. Sprinks has just upgraded wheels to one of those T300s. We were talking in Discord chat for just a second before the stream started. He says that it's way easier to get all the counter steers right, and the force feedback just feels really good. I'm sure that there's still a learning curve here, but I'm certainly not having any issues in this first couple of turns. Giving him some good close follows. Trying to leave, well, I guess I shouldn't say trying to leave room, because I'm obviously not doing much of that. But I'm trying to leave enough room that I won't run him off the road and still get Still get close. I don't know, I'm here to hang out. I'm gonna adjust my encoder position. Tuck it away down here so that it's not quite as in my vision. I can see out my left side again. Schlumpf Gamer says, Merry Driftmas. I'm so glad I joined your community. Within last week, I wanted to thank you for the lovely guides and community. I only got started with sim drifting a couple of days ago and already love it and got my own a new wheel. Yeah, my pleasure. I'd love to hear that. I'm glad that I'm able to, like I said, I'm just glad I'm able to bring a little value and introduce more people to the wonderful world of drifting. That's a lot more affordable. Because, like, real life drifting, I mean, it's awesome, right? Like, we'll roll some of the clips. There's my car. And computer build clips too, whatever. But drifting in real life is amazing. It's really fun. Getting to do this with your friends physically in the same like area has a different energy to it that I don't think playing on a computer will ever quite match. But it is so expensive, and it's really nice to be able to just sit down and shred, never fix anything, almost never fix anything. You can get really, really solid just through doing this. So glad to help. Excite asks if they've done Autopolis or Hadashi Tengoku. I think Hadashi Tengoku might be done. Is that the like hotel ski lodge place? That's like, who used that a while back? Abomoon was one of the people involved in it. Waterpunk says I was one of the people to get him into Assetto. Very cool. Been drifting for 5 days. Any tips? I have a video with my best tips on it. It's called How Not to Spin Out When Drifting or something like that. Yakiniku asks, is the hat itchy? It's actually not, surprisingly, right? Like, it's apparently a decent Santa hat. I thought they were all super cheap, but this one is okay. The 240 has had a couple engines in it. I spent a long time with the KA, naturally aspirated, low power, trying my hardest to get the car to slide, and did a good 10 years like that, so that kind of informs the base of my style. It presently has a LS1 out of an 02 Camaro. I've also driven RB20s, SR20s, RB25s or 26s, whichever it is. Basically, the only things I haven't driven, JZs too, the only things I haven't driven is a CA18 and a rotary. I'd love to drift a rotary and see what that feels like. Oh, and got a handbrake. That'll change the game. Is it possible to drift with a self-made wheel with no force feedback? I would say it's possible, but in general, drifting relies a lot on the wheel steering on its own, and so no force feedback I think would make it pretty difficult to get everything timed correctly. If you were going to try it, you'd probably want to turn down the degrees of steering rotation a bunch, because otherwise I fear that you're probably going to have trouble keeping up. Sprankle says your hands are about to get chopped off. No joke, man. Occasionally real life or in sim, the steering wheel will like almost get my finger, and it will get my fingernail, and oh my god, that hurts so bad. I guess it's like the one point in favor of wearing driving gloves with a non-Alan Carta, or whatever you call it, Alcantara wheel. When I drift, I shake the desk and monitors. So my tip for that, what's up, Shinigami? My tip for that is actually, if you end up building your own rig, to make the rig not actually be connected to the desk. So my rig may look like it's connected, but it actually is about a 1/4 inch of gap between it, and they both are freestanding. I'll give Theo a lead run here. So we're in third to get through this section. Just coasting all through here, shifting down to second and waiting, and then getting on throttle at the end when the car is slowed down. We're going to stay in second. transition around this cone, and then on the transition here we're going to upshift to third right here, and then get off throttle, downshift back down, brake if we need to, coast a little bit. Here on this transition it's going to be upshift to third, stay in it, and then as the car drifts out wide around this turn, downshift to second, balance throttle, and try to push out to the edge as far as you feel comfortable. Stay on throttle in this transition, it's going to shoot you out farther to the wall, and then use sort of an angle stall to slow the car down, and after that it's second gear, business as usual. It's pretty much the gist for how I attack this track. This section is a little bit of a pain, so we stay in second, try to link it, go up to third here, and then floor it all the way around, come off throttle, down to second gear, and then again just wait heaps of time, like 2 or 3 seconds, to get your downshift in order to make it out and around. Emmy, what is up? How are you? Merry Driftmas? Ooh, getting all up on that door. Got the fireworks going as well to ring in the holiday. Oh, sorry to everybody behind me, that was unfollowable. We've got a couple new cars in the lobby tonight. We had them on my Special Tuesday European stream as well. We've got a Mad FB RX-7, the SA22. We've also got a 3SGE swapped AE86 Corolla. And a JZX 100 Cresta. Nice job on the teleport to pits. Now I can give this FB a lead to see how they do. The FB is way faster than any other car out here by like 100 wheel or something crazy. So it's a great chase car. I'm not able to keep up with it in a WDTS car. I tested it out, but I just love the look and sound and feel of it so much that I figured we'd let it go. And that's my buddy Grassroot Digital driving it. That's a tough car to get stuck in, even though it's really fun. Yakiniku says, the Steam Winter Sale has been draining my wallet. What have you picked up? I picked up Cyberpunk. Yeah, I don't know that it was on sale. Probably not. But I have a good computer and I'm not playing it on a PS4, so I'm down. Plus I just like CD Projekt Red, although it seems like they definitely had some issues with this particular release. I've been enjoying it. It's kind of grindy, though. Like, it's fun, but it just doesn't feel super story driven. Oh, that's wall. Bad time. Sprinkles. My steering wheel almost fell off because it wasn't screwed in all the way. Oof. Joe got Doom Eternal for 20 bucks. Not bad, not bad. One of my YouTube like content creator buddies is named Alston, and he makes a lot of Doom Eternal. I think it's Eternal. A lot of Doom content. Cool dude. Why don't I play other games like Forza and CarX? I would, and I want to. Actually, it's one of the things I want to add to my portfolio of content for next year. I just haven't gotten around to it. which is like not a great answer, I know, but in a nutshell, it's like pretty easy for me to make Assetto content. I've got everything set up for it. I know how to do it. I'm decent at it. And like, it sometimes can take a little bit to adjust, especially to arcade style games that don't have the type of handling that translates pretty directly to my IRL experience. But it's mostly just the like setting everything up, getting past the tutorial levels and stuff. I barely have time. I feel like I barely have time to make the content that I do now. And so it just takes a little bit more focused effort than I've been able to provide in the past 3 or 4 months, I feel like. But next year I do want to, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do like, you know, every week making content about all these different titles. But I do want to do some Forza stuff. I want to do Beam. What else have I got? I mean, heck, I'll do one on RDS. I don't care. I've got a number of games. I just have never actually had time to even install them. So we'll see. Pats fan just got the game. Congrats, very cool. Joe and Jordan as well. Awesome. Well, Merry Christmas, Merry Driftmas. Hope that that helps out. This track is Meteora. Oh, the track in the IRL video is Sandia Speedway in Albuquerque, New Mexico. One of the places I enjoy going down to drive at. That's me in my car driving. Yeah, we end up being full pretty regularly. And I'm running all the setups stock so far. The World Drift Tour street cars, the DWG cars, they don't need anything. And the NNNK cars as well that we started running for yesterday or for last stream and this stream. Generally, I feel they handle pretty well out of the box. Let's go back to it here. Got a few more laps. I'm going to turn chat back on. Cynthia with the super chat. I want to get into drifting. How much did it cost you in total? Tires and track free stuff like that. Okay. We'll take a second and answer that. So, getting into drifting, right? It can cost a little bit. You got to buy a chassis, and then you got to tune it up to have whatever you want on it. Whether that's like a super simple seat time car, like a 350Z with a welded diff and coils and an ankle kit, or whether it's something crazy with a big engine swap and massive angle kit and, you know, all the parts you can throw on it, a nice carbon fiber two-way diff, whatever you want to do. But you got to get a car, you got to tune the car. I'm going to assume that that's all covered. As far as like once you have the car and once the car is tuned, it'll come down to, do you want to street drive the car to events? Is the car your daily driver as well? And or are you going to trailer the car to events? So for me personally, which is kind of the easiest to speak from, when I first got into drifting, I would actually street drive the car. It wasn't always my daily, but I would daily it for weeks at a time. It just kind of depended. I didn't run very much on it, so it didn't use a whole lot of tires. And really, that's the kind of the key for the budgeting for drifting. Is a lot of people will tune the car up to be faster than they can afford to keep tires on, basically. So, you know, 200 horsepower will use a certain amount of tires up at, you know, per lap. 300 will use more, 400 will use more than that. There's also driver technique and how much you bounce off rev limiter versus just use enough angle, just use enough power to get the car at the amount of angle that you want. But for me, when I was street driving the car, I could basically get a whole day on one set of tires, and I'd bring a second set just in case I went through it. I had a KA, the car made no power, so it was pretty cheap. You know, a track day would be, let's say, $60 to $100 depending on the place. I'd have to drive to it, so there might be, you know, a tank of fuel. I'd eat some food, breakfast and lunch, so that'd be like what, 10, 20 bucks, 20 bucks in fuel, and 60 to 100 bucks, like $200 or less. For a low power drift day. At this point, with my car having bigger power and being a lot more aggressive, although I still am really good about getting good tire wear out of it, I, like, a lot of times if I'm going to a bigger event, I'll rent a trailer because I don't own one yet. I did buy a truck, which was a whole separate expense, but trailer's about $100 a day, so I'll rent a trailer. I will go through at least one set, if not two sets of tires. So that's around $160. So we're at $260. Event fee for the day, we'll say, is 80 to 100 bucks, so we'll say 360. And then food will put us up to, and gas will put us no more than about $400 per track day. There's a lot of variance though, you know, some places are like $120 for a day, other places are $60. So it depends a bit on your area and how much the specific venue that you're going to charges, and it depends a lot on how much power the car makes. But that gives you kind of a general idea. Assuming I don't damage the car or get in a crash or anything like that, I can go through a set and a half to 2 sets of tires per event. And I take time to cool the car off, cool the tires down, chat with my friends, shoot video, shoot B-roll. And because of that, it works really well. The cooler the tires stay, the longer they last, and all that culminates in getting, you know, 20, 30, sometimes more than 30 laps out of a set of tires. Yep, I built my PC also, for sure. We're going to get some driving in, because I know not everybody wants to look at my stupid face while I chat. But, yeah, I built... So, actually, I have videos on all this. I built the PC, got a build video on that. Search my channel for, like, PC build. I built the, like, cockpit that my sim rig sits in. I built this triple monitor desk that it sits in. I have videos on how to do all that as well. Little short, like, montages of me building it, as well as, like, 20-30 minute long step-by-step breakdowns if you wanted to try and build your own. A lot of people have, and I have gotten some excellent feedback about it. Let's find somebody to follow. Here's Rip Trippy. In Bro, is that a Supra? Let's see what we can do here. Wait for my opportunity. We'll lock in, or try to. Oh, and that's going to be a wall hit. So that means I'm going to end up behind Turbo and Little Tykes. And that means I'm going to end up behind Turbo. Oh, I was a bit too aggressive there. Punted Turbo. My bad, bud. Mindless says, what do you use for cameras on the different views? Love the content. NAKA for life. Haha, sick. I am using Logitech C920 basic webcam. Logitech Brio, a little bit nicer webcam. Mainly because it has a wider viewing angle, and I need that view angle to capture my feet from where the camera is mounted. And then back here we have a Canon 80D. That is my my DSLR for shooting a little bit more vlog style footage. And I've recently, oops, that would be first gear instead of third. I've recently switched over to using it. Mizu, Merry Christmas, nice. Joe says, I'm thinking when I'm old enough, I'll save up for an FC chassis. They're relatively cheap. Too fast again. Oof. Kaboom, good to see you. You got a Hero 8 Black. Oh, I saw that in the Discord chat. Yeah, man, that looks sweet. I'm thinking about buying a new action cam as well, actually. Oh, nope. I was trying to be creative and use my mouse while driving one-handed. There we go. Got to allow those comments to flow through sometimes, because YouTube thinks somebody saying "oh shit" is apparently worthy of getting moderated. Their auto mod feature. First track you tandem on was this track. Right on. So Nova for me, it is 9:43. Not too bad. We got the fireworks going off as well. You see over there, even though it's the middle of the day. Spinning it up. follow Matt in the 180. We'll see how he does here. I'm going to give him a little bit of room, because I don't know if he knows the track. So we're going to do like braking earlier with e-brake so that we can stay in drift. We're going to assume tighter apexes, or at least medium apexes. People generally don't wall ride while they're learning the track. And I'm not really trying to get closer than this right now. Like, I could, but I'm in that stage. Oops, that was way too wide. Where I'm just observing, basically. And then once I'm fairly satisfied with what I have observed, and I feel like I know where I can push, where I'm faster, where I'm not faster, then I can really get after it. It's not too bad. Of course, he's following another car, which is going to make it even different to drive. But now that he's out in the lead, oof, transitioned in. There was a little bit of hesitation on that initiation. Hey, what is up? Schlumpf Gamer asked, will you also hit some laps on the AC base game drift track? I would just love to see some lines there. Completely understandable if you won't. I'm not going to during this particular live stream. I pick the tracks in advance, but we do this every week at this time, every Friday. So we have done that track before, occasionally. I don't do it a whole lot because, like you said, it is kind of a predictable track. But it's nice, and people have a fun time reminiscing. A lot of times, because I haven't been into Assetto that long, I've been into real-life drifting a fair bit longer. Anyway, a lot of times people will have, oops, some good stuff to show me. So I enjoy it. Had me shook, folded under the pressure. That's all good. You know, it comes and goes. But you gotta be under the pressure in order to get a little bit more used to it, or like learn some coping mechanisms and stuff. So it's all good. We're gonna follow one of my IRL drift buddies, Grassroot Digital. He's got a KA24 naturally aspirated S14 with an S15 front. It's a pretty baller car, despite having just the stock-ish motor. And he's probably going to be fairly at home in that FC, because it doesn't make a ton of power either, torque-wise, so it's going to need the clutch kicks. He was telling me that he sometimes gets a little bit nervous in the lead position as well, at least in sim. I don't know if it bothers him so much in real life. I make sure to try to give him good reason to. Van Bueller, good to see you. Merry Driftmas indeed. We'll be streaming on Twitch a little bit later as well. Hopefully I'll see you on there as well. How's your December been? Bonk. That was a little too aggressive. I'm way back behind. Oh, I didn't expect all that braking. Oh no. I timed it wrong. That was my fault. That was my fault. I caught wall. good. Just picked up a seat time daily. Very nice. What'd you get? My vote on seat time dailies is usually 350Zs or E36 beams. It's a BMW. Miata, okay. Fair enough. With boost or an engine swap, it's a decent chassis. I do have Dirt Rally. I haven't played it, but I've got it. Drifting is lovely, excited for when I'll be able to. Yeah, man, it feels good. It feels good. The fire alarm started going off and my brother came in trying to talk to me. Oh no! Hopefully everything's okay. It is all good. I just want to see this FBRX7 go out. I'm not going to be able to keep up with it. It's too fast. And it's hard to drift too. It makes traction in like a very different way than all of these World Drift Tour street cars. Well, case in point. Haru haru, says Tadachi. Konbanwa. Mite kurete arigatou gozaimasu. Yabe. Yachimatta. Just messed it up. Only thing hurt is my pride. Hey, that's alright. Easily fixed. Is it worth buying this all? The wheel and pedals, maybe a bigger monitor? I mean, it kind of depends on how much you care about drifting. It's way cheaper than drifting in real life. I mean, I was just answering a super chat about that, where I was saying that, you know, a weekend of drifting in real life for me is like $300 or $400. And I still do it, but I mean, I do this every week, and I could not afford to drift every week. I don't make that much money. And the car would break like all the time if I drifted it that often. So I think it's worth it. If you're sort of only like, meh, interested in drifting, like, oh, it would be nice, as opposed to like, I would be willing to give up all of my other gaming money, for example, then you might not agree. And that's fine. It's really about matching your level of spend to your level of like commitment to what the thing is. And sometimes you don't know. But like you have to figure it out over time, and that's fine too. But yeah, in general, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Where do I drift? Oh, Sprinks, he took out my man Theo. Oh, maybe not. Maybe the leg just made it look like it. So I mostly drift right now in Oklahoma. I've been up to Kansas. I've been out to Texas. I made it to Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio. I made it to Ebisu, and in Japan, Sportsline Yamanashi, Fuji Speedway, although I haven't actually drifted those last two. Where else? I've been out to Cali. I haven't driven at Cali, but I've spectated and ridden along at events. I get around, but mostly I'm in the Midwest. And I, pre-COVID, I would every year make at least one like big trip to somewhere that I've never been, even if I don't drive my own car, but to a drift event somewhere. Like going out to Cali, going back to Virginia, those were some of those like big road trip style events. I hope I can do another one of those next year. But it will depend a bit on just how family and work and coronavirus go. Van Bueller with the question on Assetto versus Forza 7. So in general, what I tell people to do, because like, you don't have to drift in real life to be able to kind of tell what's up. I say find a video of somebody drifting in real life that's like a POV video, where you can see maybe the helmet camera is like here, maybe the helmet camera is chin mounted, maybe it's a chest cam. But find you some first-person video footage where somebody is drifting and you can see their hands really clearly. And when you find that footage, watch their hands on the wheel. Watch what they do when the car is transitioning. And probably most importantly for drifting, watch what they're doing with their hands when the car is mid-corner. You can do that with me right now. So I'm transitioning, I'm not touching the wheel. Mid-corner, I'm not having to do very many corrections. Again, I let go of the wheel, it steers for me. Not a whole lot of corrections here. When the radius changes, you know, the steering angle changes, but the point is what you're seeing is a fairly stable mid-drift experience. If the car isn't busy changing directions to go from a left corner to a right corner, I don't have to do a whole lot. You see what I'm trying to get to, right? What I'm pointing out. So watch real life drifting and see if that's what you see. And then watch any game that you want. Find a YouTuber or someone posting to YouTube who is posting POV footage in a similar way. Watch their hands closely. Compare what the car is doing in transition, in corner entry, and what it's doing mid-corner. And see if their hands look similar to a person who is drifting in real life. It's generally the same. The only caveat is if they have like a belt drive or a gear drive wheel, like a Logitech wheel, they're going to be doing stuff with their hands that people don't do in real life. At least that people don't have to do in real life. Some people still do steer the wheel manually, but a lot of times you don't actually have to. Now if they're tandeming, it's going to be a different story because they're nice little tap Dio. That's all good. Real life, that wouldn't have punted me quite so badly. Anyway, all that to say, if you watch my hands on the wheel and then you watch me drift in my IRL footage, it's like literally the same. I don't do anything differently. What you're seeing is my IRL drifting habits. I'm not having to really adjust for the game. And what I have seen of Forza drifting, mid-corner doesn't look right. Mid-corner, what I see, like, let's say they're drifting around in this direction, so they're going to counter-steer and be looking over here. You'll see them go this way. You'll see a lot of this mid-corner. And there's no reason that mid-corner you should be doing this kind of crap on the steering wheel. So, while I haven't personally tried it enough to know for sure, my understanding, based on that alone, is that something isn't quite adding up there. So I would say, if I had to guess based upon that Assetto is the superior platform for realistic sim drifting with a wheel. And the other thing there is that, in general, I think a game designer has to choose. Am I going to make this game primarily for people on controller, or am I going to make this game primarily for people on a wheel and pedal kit? And unfortunately, whichever one they don't pick is going to be pretty hard to do. Like Assetto on controller kinda sucks. The controller steering input is usually really choppy. It unsettles the car a lot. It makes the car hard to drive. It certainly makes the car hard to drive fast. Because they expect you to have the level of nuance that 900 degrees gives you on your steering wheel, and on a controller it's very little by comparison. Same for the pedals. And conversely, Forza 7 is basically optimized towards users on controller. They can sell it to a lot more people. The average person does not own even a Logitech like budget driving force wheel and pedal kit. but because of that, the wheel ends up being not the best option, you know what I'm saying? So I think that, like, it's a little bit apples and oranges. But I do still want to try some of the Forza options. Haven't tried Car X yet. I'm going to. It's legitimately on my to-do list. I just haven't actually gotten to it yet. Got in Shadow's way just a little bit. Mindless Racing with the $2.99 super chat. Thank you for your support, and Merry Driftmas to you, sir. Have I tried the DWG cars? I have. Yes. I'm actually running them on this server. I am not sure what I think about them. I know that based on my car, my real life car, as like the filter, I think that the World Drift Tour street cars, they feel better to me. They feel a little bit more stable in drift, and I feel like I have a little bit more capability with them. However, the Deathwish cars look amazing. The sound design on them is great. They all sound really cool. They're all styled up to the max. And they handle okay. They're not terrible. The one thing that bothers me, and this could be a me thing, I'm originally a low horsepower drifter, and so my opinion about how my technique feels on the DWG cars is that they don't feel very confidence inspiring in transition or at like low and low medium angles. Like, they're rock solid when you're on the lock stops, but when you're used to driving a low-powered car, or when you start out that way, a lot of your technique involves finesse at less angle, which is not necessarily ball or spec, but it's like, it's really important that you can control the car and put it where you want to at less angle, because there's going to be times where you have to use less angle, especially in tandem, and even not in tandem. Eventually you're going to hit a corner that's too fast for your car's power level, so you have to cut angle in order to stay in drift and get around it. And for me, when I transition in the DWG cars, what usually works nicely for me in my real life car and in WDTS basically causes the car to like snap to massive maximum angle. And a lot of times it angle stalls or it kills so much speed that I can't then make it around the corner, because, you know, there's some corners that you can't do with maximum angle. It slows the car down too much. And in the World Drift Tour street cars, I can scoot around those turns, use less angle, and everything's premium. But on the DWG cars, and this is kind of a me issue as a driver, so it's not like the worst thing about them, it's just how I experience the cars, how my technique translates into them. I end up transitioning to more angle than I want somewhat frequently, and it's kind of frustrating because then I can't like drive out of it. I have to do like these silly rolling burnouts and stuff, basically losing all my momentum because I transition poorly. Ultimately, that's my fault as a driver, and I need to learn to drive around it. But I think there's something to be said for a car pack that I can jump into, for a car pack that I can jump into and drive naturally, as though it's always been my car pack, versus a car pack that I have to adjust to. Catch up with chat for a second. I'll be ranting. You know how that goes. The Forza twitch is especially noticeable on belt drive wheels. Oof. That's a bummer. Alex says Car X is awful. I don't think Car X is designed to be realistic. You know, it might be mildly realistic in the standpoint that, like, yeah, you need to counter steer when you're sideways and counter steer more to change directions. but I don't know that that's really the point. So we'll see. Alberto, yes, I have engine swapped the S13 at this point. Kilbo, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you. Shlumfef Gamer says, can I ask what you do for a living? I do not drift for a living. I've been drifting for about as long as I've been out of high school, but you know, I do a mix of things. I speak pretty decent Japanese, so I've done Japanese translation and Japanese related work at different points. I've worked in automotive fuel systems. I've worked in communications and graphic design and database stuff as well. I've done a few things. Lyndon says, just getting into both IRL and Assetto drifting. Got some mods sorted, and now I need to get force feedback to work on the wheel. Yeah, we have a settings Logitech channel that you should probably check out on the Discord for that. Zach Carey says, Merry Christmas, picking up a new wheel and pedal soon, upgrading to a Fanatic and an 80/20 rig. Oh, very cool, man. I'm stoked to hear that. That's awesome. Sean is unfortunately having some issues. Sorry to hear that. 18-wheel Eddie. I wasn't even looking at whatever track was up at the time. It's most likely either a track in Oklahoma or a track in Albuquerque. It's Kokies, what's up? How are you? Centale, the channel you need to look in is KT Announcements. It's up near the top. Naf, good to see you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to you as well, sir. Hoping everybody is having a wonderful night. That is for sure. About time to get a few things set up. My regulars know what's up. We are approaching that time of the night, because I'm keeping it a little earlier tonight. Sorry, Turbo. Happy holidays to you indeed. Very good. Alex is going to get an e-brake for the rig soon. Very cool. I'm using a Fanatic e-brake right now. I would honestly recommend just getting one of the eBay or Amazon no-name hall sensor e-brakes. Mindless, good explanation. Right on. Yeah. Hop in our Discord server as well if you're not already in there. I think you are. Yeah, I've seen you in there. Yeah, hopefully you can make it. We're doing this every Friday from about 9 until midnight usually. AK Simrig or IRL 350Z starter without owning a garage. I don't even think you need an 8K rig, to be honest. Like, I think a 3K rig is plenty. And then within a year you could probably have your 350Z as well. I mean, I guess if you don't have a computer or a monitor to your name or anything, it might be closer than a 4 or 5. I'd say get you a Club Sport setup like I've got, and triple monitors or VR, whichever you prefer, whichever doesn't make you nauseous, and like that'll cover it. And you can get all that set up, even if you buy instead of build like I did your cockpit and stuff. You can probably get all that set up for no more than 4K, and you'll be a lot closer to that 350Z when you're ready. That said, it kind of depends on how much money you have and how frequently you can drift. Like, if you can drift once a month, 12 times a year or something, or 15 times a year in real life, and you can afford the tires and the entry fees and stuff at $300, $400 a weekend, then IRL might be an okay way to go. If you're interested in getting as good as possible, as fast as possible, it's pretty much impossible to beat sim. It's very difficult to beat the value of sim drifting. Like, the cost per lap is insanely cheap. And it gets cheaper the longer you drive until your wheel breaks, basically. All right. We're just moving through a few things. Sweet insight. Thanks again. My pleasure. Gonna play Call of Duty. Cool, man. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in for a little bit. Good to see you. Oh no, the motherboard died. Neff says, "Oof." Theo, good to have you on. Thank you. We're getting ready to do track change and go on to our second track of the night. And you all know what that means. That also means that it is time for a platform change. So what I normally do is I stream on YouTube for the first track, and then I stream on Twitch for the second half. And that's www.twitch.tv/KameTrick. Out the blue, I actually have a video on how to install mods and a playlist on my channel. Go to the playlist section of the YouTube, because actually we're about to roll this live stream up, and we're going to be live streaming over here on my Twitch channel, by the way, so hopefully I'll see you guys there in about 5 minutes. I've already changed the tracks over, so it's going to be a pretty quick change. I'm just going to grab a restroom break, and then we'll be right in. So, yeah, anyway, check out the playlist. I have a section, like a 7-video playlist on everything you need to know to get set up, to get mods going, and even where to find mods and where to find drift servers. So, we will see you guys there. And Grassroot, yes, that is a D-cell battery flashlight duct taped to the hood of a beat to crap R32 at Ebisu, drifting in the dark. That was the only light on the car. Because when you're in Japan, you just make it work. Nantoku naru sa. Yep, we're going to Sekia Hills next. Very good. And that is listed in the Discord. I will post the password after I get in. So I'm going to grab a drink, and then I'm going to make sure I can get logged in, make sure that all my buttons stay bound, etc., etc. And then I'll post the password up in KT announcements. So stand by, and we'll see you on Twitch in about 5. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Peace out.